we're doing that at the state level. So the state level, records are being expunged here. And if you were formerly incarcerated for marijuana possession or selling, you're going to be able to get part of the $200 million grants that are available to start your business. However, still overtaxed. I would like them to change the tax bill for that.
It's actually really interesting. So expungement is very limited. So a lot of people who have marijuana convictions also have other felony convictions related with marijuana, whether it's other drugs they were selling or have weapons that they were using to protect their marijuana because they didn't have protections of law enforcement in this underground industry. And so people who have felony convictions are still in prison, still serving time, and still are going to be barred from actually even entering the marijuana industry or getting an adult use license.
Sure. In New York State, they're trying to figure that out. I'm not going to give them credit yet until we see what happens, but anybody that's like re-entering, first of all, as far as anybody that was incarcerated and leaves incarceration and becomes a returning citizen, we're way too cruel about that. Sometimes can be hard to get a driver's license, an ID, get a bank account, get a job. This whole idea that, you know, the reason why we have the prison system is what we're told is because people are going to go in and they're going to be corrected and they're going to come back, and right? Well, then if that's true, then why aren't we getting all rights back right away? Why are, you know, to me, I don't think you should even lose the right to vote when you're incarcerated. Why? Because you have been incarcerated due to the policies of the country and the law. You still should be able to have a vote in that. I will also say that we have to fix how when people are re-entering are allowed to start their lives back again so that they're not returning to prison. So that's the other part of the stigma too, is for people that are re-entering, still having a very difficult time returning to a somewhat normal life. Yes.
So I really so appreciate the idea of expanding on the voters and giving like younger students voter rights.
Yeah.
But I also feel that as New York is such a melting pot, so many of the immigrants like myself don't have any rights for voting, even though I pay taxes as just as any other citizen. So I'm wondering, like, how would you address issues like that, and how would you identify groups that really don't have any representation? How would you know that there are actually groups out there, like you said, you were talking about marginalization. So there are actually groups out there who are excluded from society, who are excluded from rights, like voting. How would you address that?
Well, on the local level now, you can vote. At the local level, not at the state and federal. It's city council just passed a law to allow that to happen. It just happened. You won't be able to vote at the federal level. One of the things that we can do is make the immigration process better, and it's also completely inhumane. Our border policy is inhumane, and I really think that we haven't fought hard enough for dreamers, and we've made way too many things complicated with immigrating in this country. That would help, right? If you want to become a citizen of this country, why have this much red tape? It's part of the problem with all of this, is that there's so much bureaucracy in this country. So much red tape. I'm very good at red tape, by the way. I know how because I dealt with it so much in my life. But no one should have to do that, especially if you've got kids, you've got a job full time. Like, who has time to do all of that, right? And it's also very costly to try to become a citizen in this country. It costs a lot of money. You have to afford lawyers, you have to do all this stuff. So we have to streamline the process of that. But what also has to change? Narratives have to change. And Republicans and right-wingers are very good at crafting really terrible, fear-based messaging. And this is part of what's influencing that bureaucracy around immigration. So yes, I could get into that all day, but I'll just stop with that. Did somebody else have another one?
Yeah, maybe if anyone has a final question, and then we're gonna move, and Maya is gonna like pick some images here based on the conversation. We can move over there, and people can kind of mill around, make collage with Maya a little bit, and maybe we can do that now if that's cool. Are people down? Any final? Yeah? Okay, cool.